Alright, so I'm making this video because it's some shit that we need to know as humans. And, I thought this shit was common sense. But I had to realize that a lot of people weren't taught the things that I was taught. And experiencing the things that I've experienced. So let's just get into it. Long story short, stop fucking creating families before you know who the fuck you are and what the fuck you want. And also who your partner is and what they want. If you look at different cultures, white people, Asians, Mexicans, or Latinos, Hispanics, etc., all them motherfuckers can get married and have a family and, stay together. Every fucking culture but black people. We first of all, we don't even get married. A lot of us don't even get married. We have a kid and then we realize we could be together 1 month, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the case, have a kid, and as soon as that motherfucking baby comes, oh, I actually don't like you. And now the baby got to deal with you two motherfuckers hating each other and all this extra shit that's unnecessary. So let's figure out why the fuck we as black people can't keep our fucking families together. And let's also understand why this shit is not working out, basically. It's multiple things. I feel like it's a lot of different things, but I'm only going to touch on a few of these things that I've witnessed and realized. All right. The first issue is that we don't know ourselves. We could talk about the problem all day long, why we don't know ourselves, the system, the government, the fucking parents, whatever. We can blame whatever, whoever, but overall, it is with us. As an adult, as a grown-ass woman, as a grown-ass man, you should be learning yourself. First and foremost. That should be your overall goal in life. What the overall goal is to actualize your highest potential. Become the highest version of yourself, or the best version of yourself, right? To align your current self with your highest self, or whatever you want to call it, right? But in order to do that, you have to learn yourself. If you want to start a business, get a career, be in a relationship, live a life that you actually enjoy, be happy, be fulfilled, you first have to know yourself in order to do these things, right? How the fuck can you expect to be fulfilled if you don't know what makes you fulfilled? How do you expect to live in alignment with your purpose if you don't know what your purpose is? How do you expect to have a good relationship if you don't even know what you need and want in a relationship, and what your goals are in life, so that you can align your goals and your partner's goals with each other and be able to continue going on this going through life together, because y'all had the same values, goals, and philosophy, or whatever, right? So that's the main issue. We don't know ourselves, right? Once you learn yourself, and actually, let's step into how you can learn yourself, because a lot of people say be yourself, be authentic, all this kind of shit, but nobody tells you how to learn yourself or how to be yourself or whatever. So for me, I'm just gonna say this: you're never gonna know every single thing. Well, I don't think you're ever gonna know every single thing about yourself, right? But you can get very, very, very fucking close. And you're constantly gonna change. You're constantly going to shift. But the main important thing is that you at least know where you are currently and where you want to go, and what you need and what you want and what your desires are and why. What your triggers are and why, you react, having emotional intelligence, physical intelligence, all these kinds of things, right? So for me, I've done a few different things, and you may not agree with them. Doesn't really matter. You can look up your own way of learning who you are. But what I do is I reflect, I introspect. I literally ask myself questions and answer them. My internal self, or subconscious self, higher self, whatever you want to call it, answers the questions. And you can just journal a day, make one journal entry a day, and go from there. But basically, you can ask yourself, what are my beliefs, and not what I was programmed to believe in, but what I genuinely believe in. You know what I'm saying? What are my values and why? Why are these my beliefs? Why are these my values? What is my personal philosophy? What are my needs? What are my desires? What is my purpose? You know what I'm saying? What did I like to do as a kid? What do I do when no one is watching? What would I do every single day if money wasn't a factor? You know, ask yourself things like that, because that separates the programming, the societal programming, or the traditional programming, or the family programming, or whatever. It separates that from yourself, right? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And these may sound like crazy or weird questions to ask yourself, but you know, it gets the job done. And other things outside of that, you know, stillness, isolation, being by yourself. These things help, because, you know, it's for me, I'm an empath, and so it can be a little difficult for me to, you know what I'm saying, learn who I am. Well, it was a little difficult before I, you know, became self-aware. It was difficult for me to like learn who I am, and while I'm around other people, because I'm, you know, absorbing different people's emotions. I'm absorbing these people's, you know, thoughts and opinions, and thinking that they're my own, and they're not. So long story short, isolation. Like for me personally, I took a solo trip. I took a cross-country road trip to California. I did one to Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, and I just basically went across the country for like 3 months. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want to do. You can just get a Airbnb. You can kick everybody out your house, or whatever you got to do. I don't know what your situation is, so whatever works for you, cool. But long story short, you can isolate yourself, bro. How can you ever expect to know yourself if you don't have solitude? That is like necessary. You have to have alone time sometimes, because if you need to be around other people in order to feel whole or feel something, then that is a problem. You should be able to be alone and be fine. I'm not saying that you have to stay alone, because we need people too, but we also need the balance of, you know, being alone and being with people, especially when you are learning yourselves or in the beginning stages of self-knowledge. You need to be aware of who you are. You need to be within isolation. Sorry about that. But yeah, with all that aside, you know, introspection, reflection, journaling, isolation, stillness. You don't have to be moving at all times, you know what I'm saying? Talking on the phone, or texting, or scrolling, or watching TV, or listening to music, or listening to a podcast, or learning something, or you know what I'm saying, moving. You don't have to be moving, cleaning the house, or whatever the fuck you like to do. You don't have to be moving all the fucking time. Sit the fuck down and do nothing. Sit in a fucking room and stare at the wall. Go in nature and just sit. Let all the thoughts flow in. Some people call it meditation. I call it just sit the fuck still and relax. You can fucking just stare at the fucking trees. Observe your environment, right? You see squirrels running around, you know what I'm saying? You looking at ants. You know, you're literally watching your thoughts. And you let them come in. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have a direction. Sometimes you can have a direction if you want to, if you have that goal in mind, but you know, you can just relax. You know what I'm saying? And thoughts will come to you, questions will come to you, things that you said and did and experienced will come up, and just allow it to come up without judging it, without you know, putting labels on it and criticizing it, and, you know, create a safe space for yourself to be yourself without judgment. And then you will be able to get answers once you stop, you know, putting the barrier between you and your relationship with self. You know what I'm saying? I feel like once you have a relationship with yourself, your relationships with others will be 1,000 times easier. But yeah, that's it. Other things that I've used that I feel like some people may not agree with is astrology. And I don't mean your horoscope. I'm talking about your natal chart. Your natal chart is basically like a screenshot of where all the planets were placed at the exact time, location, date, latitude, longitude, whatever that you were born in. So, you know, each planet supposedly has different energies, And when we're born, those energies directly influence us and who we are and our personality and our, I guess, life path. So, there are different, religions and shit like that. There are different versions of astrology and things of that nature. But the one that I use is the tropical chart. I know that there are other ones out there, but that one is pretty accurate enough for me in this current moment of my life. But basically what you do is you can go to CoStar, you can go to astro.com, and you can type in your birth information. If you want to know what time you were born, then check your birth certificate. It should be on there. And you can literally find out like your sun, moon, rising, your Venus, your Mercury, your Mars, and each of these planets have certain energies. So like, for example, your moon would be your subconscious. It would be your emotions and how you express your emotions and things of that nature. And then you have like your Mercury. That's the way you communicate, the way you process information, things of that nature. So each of these energies are connected to a sign, and then that sign has energies, and then you have houses and so on and so forth. But that is basically where I got a lot of information about myself. I actually did that before I learned about the whole journaling thing and asking yourself simple questions. So, but you have to be careful with identifying as the shit, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be used as like a cheat sheet, as a guide, but you're not supposed to attach yourself to those identities. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to evolve and shift out of certain energies, or shift from the lower natures of those energies into the higher natures of those energies, and shift into a new, better, higher version, or more evolved and mature version of yourself. So yeah, be careful with that part. But outside of that, use it as a guide to understand, what you need and value in love, how you are in love. Use it to, understand your finances and what would be the best career for you, career choices for you, and, things that you need to heal through and things of that nature. And you can also use astrology, like to find your life path number. Not astrology, numerology. I think I said astrology, but yeah, numerology. To find your life path number, you basically, calculate your entire birthday, and you can go from there. But if you are interested in any of this, I have like free blog posts. I can put them in the description, and you basically it's a blog post on how to find your natal chart, and then I'll have another one. It's a blog post on how to read your natal chart, and it includes a free 1-hour lecture on doing so. So I just put that in there just in case you're interested in that. But like I said, you can look up your life path number. This will basically tell you your life path, and basically like your basic energy, I guess. And then, you have what else? Human design. I'm not too savvy with human design, but I have like seen my chart and got the basic energy from that, and it taught me a lot. So you can look at your human design chart. You can look at different personality things, but like I said, don't attach your identity to these things. Just use them as a guide to kind of dive deeper. The main thing, the main tool that I would recommend is the reflection, the introspection, and the journaling, asking yourself questions, building a relationship with yourself, creating a safe space for yourself, stillness, isolation, periods of isolation, and just observing yourself. And then the more you practice it, the more self-aware you become. And that's like the main thing, right? So we got that part out the way. Becoming self-aware, and once you get an idea of who you are, what your purpose is, what your values are, and things of that nature, now you can find a partner who is in alignment with those values. And this goes for everything in life. Like, create a business or get a career that is aligned with your purpose, with your values. And this is where fulfillment comes in. You know what I'm saying? You get fulfilled by aligning yourself with your purpose, aligning yourself with your passions, aligning yourself with things that fulfill you. And so that's why self-knowledge is the first and most important step. But you find a partner that is aligned with your values, with your goals, and aligned with your personal philosophy, and y'all can merge your perspectives, merge your goals and desires, and merge these things into build a foundation, aka a family, off these values, off these goals. And then you have a child that you then instill your values, beliefs, and goals into that child. And as they grow up, they become whoever they become. But that is the overall thing. Now, the mistake that we make, or a lot of us make, is that we start to have kids with people that aren't aligned with our goals, that aren't in alignment with any aspect of ourselves. We just think they're attractive, they have money, they, make us laugh, we have a good time, whatever the case. We have history, we've known each other for so long, all of this kind of bullshit, right? And we think that they love us. We think love is enough. And so we run off love and not even realizing that this person is not even aligned with what I see for my future, what I see for my family, what I see. Like, for example, let's say I'm vegan and my partner is not vegan. Me as a vegan person, I would like to raise my child to be vegan, but they see the dad is not vegan, the mom is not vegan, one of them not vegan, and so they're like, well, shit. It's like one is pulling this way, one is pulling that way, and they don't really know. And then when they with the person that's not vegan, of course they're gonna probably feed them non-vegan food. Now your child is eating. It's stupid. You get what I'm saying? If you vegan, and it's one of your values for your children to be vegan as well, then get with someone who is vegan, and y'all can create a vegan ass family. You get what I'm saying? But we think that love is enough, but it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? History is not enough. A lot of people just want to be in a relationship so they can own somebody, or so that they can have control over somebody, or whatever the fuck the case is, right? Or having different types of attachment issues, or codependency, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Instead of being in a relationship because we want to, create a foundation and a family built off of our values, built off of our philosophy, our personal philosophies and stuff like that. And we can, have this basically our own world. You know what I'm saying? And so it's literally like having our own little baby economy, our own world, our own country, because this is our family. We have these beliefs and stuff like that. And nothing is like opposed. If the child grows up and decides to be whoever, which you should, allow them to explore things for themselves and be, whoever, then they grow up and have their own family, and then it starts on and on and on. But at least they are growing up in a household with two parents who love each other, who, has helped them become the best them that they could be, prepared them for a life of becoming the best them that they could be. That is golden. But instead, we're having, broken ass families, and dads who don't give a shit, moms who probably don't give a shit, moms who are probably like putting bullshit into the kid's ear about the father, and the father doing the same shit. This is a whole bunch of bullshit. The child grow up confused, not knowing what the fuck going on. The men are ended up hating women, and the women is hating men, and putting that up subconscious mindset or perception or whatever onto their kid. It's too much. It's too much. Learn yourself, heal yourself, and then find someone who is aligned with your values, your purpose, with your goals in life, and build a foundation with that person. Learn to communicate, learn to be honest, learn to be open, learn to be vulnerable. If you have commitment issues, get that together. If you got trust issues, get that together. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you can't work on these things actively while dating around and stuff like that, because I feel like the best thing is to, learn. A lot of times you can learn what you like by learning what you don't like. And when you realize you don't like a person, then, let them know, hey, this is not going to work. But at least you experienced it enough to experience different people to know, like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and stuff like that. But don't stay just because you are dependent or there's emotions involved. If the shit ain't clicking, if it ain't working, if it don't make sense, then it just don't make no fucking sense, and leave. That's another thing that's like fucked up. A lot of the people are being in relationships because of trauma and insecurities and whatever else. Like, if it's not aligned, it's not aligned. Accept that shit and find who is in alignment with you. You know what I'm saying? And being yourself from the beginning, being yourself, being authentically you, and attract people who are for you by being yourself. When you try to impress somebody, or be anything other than what you are, then you attract everything other than what you are, and then you start to wonder, like, why why do I keep attracting these same types of people, or well, it could be, number one, you're not being yourself when you first meet them, and you're not continuing to be yourself, and you're not healing through, issues that from your childhood. That could be one. And two, your environment. Go in environments that are aligned with your purpose and passion and values. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck, if I don't drink, why the fuck would I go to a bar and try to meet somebody in a bar? And you know what I'm saying, now, I'm not saying that you can't find people in different places, but what I'm trying to say is, like, if I'm into art, you know what I'm saying, and I want a partner that's into art like me, then maybe I'm gonna go to an art museum or go to some kind of music festival or something like that, and try to see what my options are out there, because it's more aligned with who I am and what I value. If I'm Christian, I'm gonna go to a church, and maybe I could find a nice Christian person that I could be with. You know what I'm saying? But it's about environments. It's about knowing yourself and intentionally choosing people, places, and things that are aligned with your purpose and your values, and who you are at the core as a person. So that's very important. My goddamn leg getting a cramp in it and shit. But that's overall, bro. That's it. And also, when you're choosing your person, a lot of people can be faking. You know what I'm saying? I would say use your discernment, but you also can use what you're being presented with. You know what I'm saying? So discernment, intuition, whatever. But also use what you're being shown. Do not choose a person based off their potential. Go based off what they are showing you, what their current actions are repetitively showing you, the patterns that they're showing you. Being with a person based off of what you feel they can be, what you believe they can be, what they say they're gonna be, versus being with a person based on their actions and who they're showing up as. I forgot where I was going with that. Basically, long story short, stop fucking living off potential, bro. I mean, like, for other people, yourself, you want to live up to your potential, but for others, don't choose people based off their fucking potential, because you will be shit-faced every single fucking time, every time, and you'll be irritated. They're gonna be irritated because they wondering why you trying to change them and all of that bullshit. So just be you, and fuck with people who are showing you who they are. Trust what the fuck they show you, and go off that. You need to know this person's history, their medical history, their family history. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be a family full of mentally ill people. For example, my cousin, my cousin, he was in a relationship with this girl. You know what I'm saying? They had a baby together. They realized he didn't want to be with her anymore, and he ended up going with somebody else, right? And so the lady was crazy. I mean, abusing their son, trying to get him in jail and fuck up his life and all kinds of shit, right? She, like, literally is mentally ill. And it didn't really come out until, her little heartbreak happened, because they broke up, and, she just resented this nigga ever since. And I'm just like, bro, if you look at her family, her mom is mentally ill, her brother is mentally ill. She got a family full of mental illness. And if you are not actively trying to heal yourself, you know what I'm saying? If you're not actively trying to live a life that is, revolving around growth. Hold on, I got to move the way I'm sitting. This shit hurting my damn leg. If you are not living a life, if your lifestyle is not revolving around your own personal growth, and you can see that person, like the person that you're choosing, if you can actively see what the person's priorities are by talking to them. You can have one conversation and see what the fuck their priorities are, for real. You know what I'm saying? Look at their lifestyle, how they living, and the shit that they choosing. You can look at this shit and see, excuse me, but all I'm trying to say is, look at their family history. And if it's fucked, 9 times out of 10, they're fucked. Unless you can actively see them trying to become a better person. Going to therapy, or, you know what I'm saying, doing something to try to be better. You know what I'm saying? I've seen an entire family full of obese people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not fat shaming, but what I'm trying to say is their parents had fucked up eating habits. Their sister had fucked up eating habits. Everybody in that motherfucker had fucked up ass eating habits. And it can go straight to her too. You know what I'm saying? If she not actively trying to eat better and do better, then she's gonna have a fucked up, appearance or health or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you can actively see her like choosing to eat better, to be healthier and things of that nature, then you can see she's actively trying to change and be better. Then fuck with it. But outside of that, if you don't see the active change going on, the active therapy or trying to be helped or healed, shit sound like a damn missile. Then drop it. It's not for you. Unless that's what your values are, then cool. But I'm just giving examples. You need to look at these people's family history, they medical history, you know what I'm saying? The history of everything. You need to know who you fucking with. The same way you know yourself, you need to be trying to, you probably won't know them on the level that you know yourself at, but you know what I'm saying? You need to try to know who you're with. You know what I'm saying? Ask questions, observe, you know what I'm saying? Look at their goddamn medical records with consent. You know what I'm saying? Know what they got going on. This person probably had 10 STDs. And they want to come to you, and that motherfucker just lying dormant. That motherfucker get electrocuted or punched in the face. That shit might activate. Now both of y'all fucked up. So it just know who you fucking with, right? Know yourself, trust yourself, set your boundaries. You know what I'm saying, and build your communication skills. All of these things, and it doesn't have to feel like one big ass task. If I'm looking for a relationship right now, what I would do is, if I'm not self-aware, then I will first start with that, right? And once I get my self-awareness, I know what I want, what I need. Then I would write it out. What am I looking for in a partner? You know what I'm saying? What are my non-negotiables? Things of that nature. So that way, when you meet somebody and then they align with your needs and stuff like that, then you can see where it goes, and you can ask that person what their values are, what their philosophy is, what their goals are, and if it's in alignment with what you see for yourself, then go for it and shit like that. And if you study the person, I'm not saying it's like a big ass test, a pop quiz or nothing like that, but if you are committing your life to somebody, you don't want to waste your fucking time. So look at the fucking person for what they are. You know what I'm saying? And see what they've gone through, what their traumas are and things of that nature. And, get to know who you fucking with before you bring a baby into this fucking scenario. Before you decide to marry somebody. Before you decide to commit. And then emotions and shit get involved and all of that shit, when it all could have been avoided by knowing if this person is in alignment with you. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. It's so important, bro, because we have a whole entire culture of people who are fatherless, motherless, or having bad relationships with their parents, and that shit bleeds into their adult life. We're not taught how to heal. We're not taught how to love ourselves, know ourselves, be ourselves, trust ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're not taught any of these things, so that we go through life, our entire adulthood, being somebody that we are not, that we hate, living a life that we hate, being with people that we hate, having kids with people that we hate. Then our kids end up hating us because we didn't know ourselves enough to choose better, do differently, do things differently. And it's just a lot of shit that can be avoided, bro. Like a lot of misery, suffering, irritation, anger, problems that could be avoided with just learning who the fuck you are and living in alignment with that person. And when I say knowing who you are, when I say you do change, but you have a core, you know what I'm saying? Your purpose, that shit, is still, you know what I mean? Like, who you are at the core before all the trauma and the programming and, conditioning and all of that shit, that's you. That's always been you. And, that's who you want to, fuck with. That's who you want to lean towards. That's who you want to be in alignment with, your higher self. The higher version of yourself, who you desire to be. It's not about being somebody else. It's about being who you are at the core, and dispelling or releasing or destroying the veil that's been covering who you are, that's been separating your true self from your program self, your mask self. Because a lot of times we go through life living in a mask, trying to fit in and trying to feel accepted and loved. And we never really truly feel that true love because we're not in alignment with self. You know, living out your soul purpose, that shit is a love unmatched, bro. Unmatched. It feels good. Just imagine going to a job that that has no fucking it has nothing to do with who you are as a person, what you value, but you're doing it for a paycheck. You're getting the money, but you still feel empty inside. You hate going to work every day. You gotta do this shit every fucking day till you retire. And then when you retire, you done been so programmed and conditioned, and your curiosity is gone. You know what I'm saying? Your joy and excitement is gone. Everything that you are is buried so deep that you gotta dig to find that motherfucker. And a lot of times we don't even know that's the problem, for one. So we don't know to look for it. And if we do know to look for it, we don't do it because it's so much work. So, bruh, if you want to live a better life, bruh, learn yourself and live in alignment with that purpose. Live in alignment with your purpose. I have a blog, like a newsletter. Sign up for my newsletter. It's linked in the description, linked in the bio. And, you know, I basically go in depth with a lot of topics surrounding personal development. And I believe that there are 6 key aspects of personal development in order to actualize your highest potential or unlock your highest potential, become the best version of yourself. And that is the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, and social aspects. Social being relationships and intimacy and connection, friendships, I think I said that, and communication. But yeah, all of these things, I talk about all of these things, right? And how to basically have a free, happy fucking life. You know what I'm saying? At the most basic level, you just having a high quality of life. You actually enjoy your life. And these key aspects are necessary in order to actually enjoy your life. So yeah, that's basically what my content is about. If you like this, you know, subscribe, follow, comment, share your opinion, share it. And yeah, subscribe to my newsletter. And I will see y'all soon. Peace.